Welcome back, all you big bass lovers. It's Demont coming back at you again. So first things first, let's go ahead and address the 250 subscriber. I don't know why I didn't have as many turnout as I thought I would, or many comments. We only had 7 comments. I put the 7 names into a random number generator, and Matt Meyer, you have won the box. I'm gonna put my email down in the description below. Send me your email me with your address, and I'll go and get the box sent out to you. Congratulations, Matt Meyer. Let me set this to the side. Now, next thing I've been promising you guys is a video about the dog days of summer. Dog days of summer. Trying to find different things, especially for fishing in Pittsburgh. When I was living there with my wife, I guess it's been about 8 years ago, 9 years ago now. Actually 10 years ago now. I think about it, it's almost 10 years. Fishing the rivers and stuff there became really tough. The smallmouth, like little bitty baits. So that's when I started getting into BFS fishing. I like a spinning rod, but spinning rod, I don't feel like I get as good a control over like little poppers like this, little crankbaits. Also, I like my BFS stuff when it comes to throwing shad wraps, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and dive into this. This is actually one of the baits I like to throw in the dog days of summer when the bass are up chasing small, I call them shore minnows, or a small fry of the year. There's little poppers. This is a Tercinoia. What's it called? It's the... I can't remember the name of it, but I'll link it down below. But this is one of the things I like to throw. This is not usually the rod I throw it on. Usually I'm throwing on a Dobbin Savvy. But when I'm packing up in the truck sometimes and I'm not taking the boat out, I like to throw it on this little rod here. This is, of course, this is an Ace Hawk double. I always use the light tip. Matter of fact, I broke both of them. I've got 3 of these rods, and I broke the ultralight tip on both of them, on 2 of them. All right, so let me set this to the side. All right, now you guys know, let me get what I'm looking for here. People are out here messing around, so kind of trying to get some stuff here to show you and how I want to try to go through this. There's several things on here that I also want to show you that I found off of AliExpress that's actually, I found very interesting. And for the money, I really don't think you can beat them at all. Okay, so I think I'm almost where I want to be. You guys know I love to throw my whopper ploppers. I really love throwing whopper ploppers. I'll throw whopper ploppers up into the very first part of the winter. Going really slow with them. But then I start back throwing them again first part of spring. And then I'm throwing them till... I'm usually throwing a whopper plopper until about the middle of June. The big whopper plopper, that is. I have went to a few other things. Like... I'm trying to do a topwater bait when I'm doing topwater search, especially when you're around like laydowns, you're around beaver dams, you're around a lot of stick ups and things of that nature. So instead of throwing this, I found this guy here. It's called a bucktooth by Chopo. It's basically designed to imitate a little baby beaver. But what this thing does is it's not the same as, like, I mean, I like the Chopo. I like the regular Chopo as well. But this is different. You can tell it has a nice wide body. It displaces a lot more water. And it gives a different profile than this does. Now, on the opposite side of that, I also like to go down to this guy. Hence another reason why I like to throw BFS. But I don't throw this on a light rod. I throw this on a medium light rod. I have the main colors I use is bone and black and bluegill. And I fished a regular bone. Another little guy I've been using here lately is this thing. This is the Guggen Squad Revolver. Now this is like a hybrid between a spook slash whopper plopper. The one thing I don't like about this bait is that the hooks seem to like to get tangled up together. As you can see here, the hooks are kind of close together. And that's because they can't put a hook up here because this little revolver part will get hung up. But they have both of these hooks back here. And if the fish blows up here, I've still been trying to find a really good hack for it, but they miss it sometimes. And sometimes it's hard for them to come back because they get the feeling of that plastic bait in their mouth. But anyway, okay, let's keep going in the topwater realm. Another one of my favorite topwaters is this guy right here. Especially in the late days of fall, late days of summer, early days of fall. I love throwing the Chopcut. There's not many things out there, but there's nothing out there like this. There's nothing out there like this at all. You can work this kind of like a whopper plopper. You can work this kind of like a or torpedo. If you guys know what that is, it's a kind of an old bait, kind of shows you how old I am. Let me go and take this. This one's been kind of squished a little bit. I'm going to take this up and kind of see it a little bit. All right, so of course it doesn't want to move. Okay, so you kind of see it has hook on the side of the belly. Come on now, come out of the box. Don't you love how stuff doesn't want to work with you when you want it to work with you? What this thing does is it lays flat on top of the water. It kind of imitates like a dying bait fish. And be careful, these hooks on this thing are very sharp. But it lays on the side of the... God damn it. Okay, I'm about done. Let's just pull it out. I'm starting to tell you guys to be careful. I'm sitting there being crazy. This is what's going on. This box is all jacked up. Ouch. There it comes. Dang. Okay, now we got it out. Alright. So, it lays on the side of the water like this right here. And every time you pull it, this propeller right here goes boom, and it spits water everywhere. This little thing is awesome. And his little hook kind of goes back and forth. You can see it here. You can kind of see how it swings and it swivels. So they target this feather here because this feather is sitting in the water. They can't throw this little thing. Even as heavy as this bait is, they can't throw it. Sorry about that. My little French bulldog decided he wanted to try to play with the toy. He's not thinking about what's going on. He just knows there's a toy here. He thinks the chopper, he thinks the Chopcut's here as a toy. He would not like it if he got a hold of it. That's for sure. All right, so there's that topwater bait. All right. Let me just try to stick this back in the box real quick. So we can move on to the next thing. And mostly what I work this in is I work this around laydowns or over submerged grass that has brim beds. And most of the colors I throw are basically like bluegill type colors. A couple here just so I can show you. Next topwater bait I'm going to show you real fast. During like these really tough days of, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still catch fish on pop R's, spooks, but they're not the quality bite that you want to be catching. Another thing I like to throw is I need to actually do a good review on these in the water. This is basically a knockoff of a mega bass lure, which a mega bass lure is a knockoff of another bait as well. But this is the Deca Douche. This is basically what the old bait was called a crawler. This thing, when you throw it out, me try to get this one out. These wings collapse and it throws like a bullet. Now, this is the AliExpress. Even though those hooks are sharp, I don't like throwing these hooks. I take these hooks and these split rings off, and I upgrade them to Mega Bass. I mean, upgrade them to owner short shanks, stingers, and owner hyper wire rings. Just because I don't. These hooks, I've tried them before and they're not very durable. I had a 2-pounder pull off the hook. But as far as the actual bait itself, these things are awesome. Now, they don't make any noise by themselves. A noise comes from, these metal wings. As you throw it out there, it works back and forth, like this right here in the water. It kind of crawls like it's walking across the water. And you get out there in the pool and show you this. They weren't moving up. This moving is really kind of putting, made me have to do a lot of different things and trying to get stuff situated. But this will be over pretty soon. I just found out our closing date's going to be extended out a little further, which kind of sucks. No problem, no fault of ours, but my realtor's back office didn't get stuff right to begin with. But this is an awesome topwater bait. I throw this in the black. I also throw it in the white. And I throw it in the bluegill colorations they have. So here's the white. And then the bluegill. So you can kind of see that. Or bluegill or slash perch, whatever you want to call it. It's still kind of pretty much is imitating the same thing. All right, so now I showed you the Deca Douche. Let's see, do I have any other topwaters I want to show you real fast? I mean, a lot of people, I mean, myself included, if I'm not fishing a tournament, I'm out fun fishing, I like to fish a topwater. That's just point how it goes. I like to fish a topwater. Just because I love that bite. I love the excitement it gives you. Okay, next thing, the next little topwater I want to show you is another thing from AliExpress, but Jackal also makes this. This is another realm of that BFS. As you can see, these colors, these little hooks on these little packs and it's stuck up in the bags. I throw 3 colors. I throw this white color, and I change the hooks out on these 2. These hooks, they're fairly sharp, but they're nowhere near as sharp as you want them. I always go to owners. I always go to owners or VMC or Mustads. Or, I mean, any of the good manufacturers have a decent hook. So, I mean, but you don't want to use, especially when your money's on the line. This little guy here, I don't even know why they have this little eye even on here. I've never used it. I guess you could put another treble hook on if you want to. But I always tie my line right here. And usually I use a snap, a small snap. Because this bait, it actually sits on the water. It sits on the water just like this. And when you pull your line, it quivers like this right here on top of the water. And it basically goes chiggle, 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 chiggle. And basically it flashes back and forth. And all this stuff here on the side flashes. It's just a small little profile. It's like a broken menace on top of the water. Or an injured bait fish is what it looks like. And the bass just can't help themselves and they go up and smack it. I have actually won several tournaments just on this little bait here by itself. I throw this on BFS gear. I throw this on a Dobbin Savvy 7-foot light action rod with it has 15-pound fluorocarbon with a 15-pound braid with a 10-pound mono leader. Just because it's a floater and you want it to float. You don't want the bait to sink, so you don't want to use fluorocarbon. Let me see, I got a whole little baggie of them. I have more than this out in the garage, but This is what I grabbed real fast to bring in to show you. These, I'm notorious for getting, I try to get too close to the branch or too close to the brush, and I end up breaking these things off a lot. But they're relatively cheap. They're like $2 a piece or $3, something like that. I'll try to get links for these and leave them down below for you as well. There's actually several of these. I only use the Tercinoia ones. I've tried a couple of the other ones, and they're kind of hit and miss. And I don't like taking chances on the quality of their bait. I mean, if you're throwing it out there and the bait's sinking, you know it's not right. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. And you can catch fish off of this Squarebill year-round. This is, once again, the S-Crank 1.2 from Megabass. I have these in lots of different colors, but these are fish producers year-round. And kind of, I mean, yeah, I'm telling you some of my little secrets here, but kind of, with the response I got from the last video, kind of makes me kind of feel bad about just sharing this, because I don't really think I'm getting through to people. But I'm hoping you guys are liking this. If you are, why don't you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I'm making a lot more content. I'm trying to get things out for you guys. So here we go to the next thing. All right. During this point in time, most of you guys are always throwing the good old 4-inch swim bait. Whether it be a Biospawn, Kitech, Sexy Swimmer, all those little things. This time of year, I go either really small, like a 2.7, like this is the Divine, the 6th Sense Divine, or I like to throw in the Kitech. There's 3 different versions of Kitechs I like to throw. They're small. There's the Divine. I've got these. I haven't had a chance to really try these yet. They've also have Biospawn makes a small one. It's nice. Z-Man makes a couple small ones that are really nice. But anyway, you get the point. Go small. Or go a hell of a lot bigger. Like this is the Sweep. I used the Mag Draft. I haven't tried this one yet, but I'm pretty sure, just looking at it, it's going to be really good. I use a big trash fish. A lot of people think of Huddleston's a cold water bait, but I have caught some big ones in the middle of summertime fishing a Huddleston, swimming it slow, just dragging across the bottom. And for you guys right there who love swim baits like I do, I was looking on AliExpress, looking at these things. And I was like, damn, that looks just like a bait we have here on some websites that cost like I think they're like $135 a piece. And it's called the Clash and Mini Clash. And they have them on there. I'll be honest, I have never bought a Clash, and I would never buy a Clash. I am not paying that much for a swim bait. But I mean, let me just go and open one of these things up. This is one I haven't really tried to use it yet, but I opened this one up already. But see, it comes with hook protectors. It comes with multiple different tails. Let me open up one for you just so you can see. All right, here's what they come like just in the pack. You open your pack up. And it comes with, of course, you have your body. Here's one of the little tails coming out already. And here's you get 2 of these tails, 2 different colors. You get one lip like this. There's a flat, kind of a nice flat face to it. Oh, okay. The hook protector just popped off and I got the hook. And these hooks on here feel really good. They feel really strong. The split rings look really good. For the price of this bait, I think this bait's between $6 and $8. I'll put it down below. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but let me finish getting inside the pack so you can take a look at it here. Made all the hook fingers pop off of it. But anyway, let me get all the stuff out of here. So you get 4 tails. You get 2 of the whale tails and 2 of the flat tails. You get 2 bills. One, I think they're the same. Let me look and see. Yep, they're the same. You get 2 hook protectors. And from what I can tell, the Clash doesn't even come. It has 1 tail. You have to buy extra tails. Each tail is like $15. And you can replace the bills, and it's basically made just the same as this. Has the same cutout, the same tail groove. The body shape's the same. I don't know how it rattles or how it sounds. This is how this one sounds. So you can tell it's pretty loud. It weighs, let me, just so we can find out for 100% fact. I'm not sure what that weighs. Ow. Oh, these hooks are really good. Ouch. Sorry. So if you're using the tail, I mean, if you can use it without the bill, and it's a floater. And use it with the bill, and it's like a wake bait. Okay, trying to get this tail in here. So we can get kind of a similar weight on here. I don't think there should be any difference with these tails or that. But okay, so then you get your bill. Now I have noticed on the first one, it had a little bit of paint inside the mouth that I had to get out. This one doesn't smell like it has any paint, so. These things kind of made me too excited. I had to go and open them up and take a look at them. You just push your bill all the way up in there. There's like a groove it sits down into. Up inside there. It'll lock itself in place once you get it right. Of course, I don't see very good, so it's kind of hard for me to get it lined up right. Gosh, dog, get in there, you. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at it through the camera. I'm not seeing what I'm doing right. There we go. All right, so now let's go ahead and figure out what we got here. So I've got these in, so I even had a chance really to see if they're, let's put it on ounces. That's what we guys like to look at. I don't know if it'll sit on here right or not with ounces. No, it wants to sit ounce across there. Let me get that other scale. I need to find my other big scale that I had before the kids start playing with it. Okay, so we got this is on fluid ounces, so we can move it to regular ounces. Okay, so let's see where we're at. We're at 1.3 ounces. Feels heavier than that, but I guess it's not. Let's zero it out. All right, so now let's try it again. So 1.1 ounce. I guess it's not quite as heavy as the Clash is. I guess they add more weight to the Clash. The Clash, I think, is like 2 ounces or so. And then if you want to take the lip off, pull the lip out, you can pull the tail back off. And you can put the tail where it's kind of going up like that or down. And you put it kind of however you want to put it in there. I kind of thought this was really neat, and I thought I'd like to show it to you guys. Especially if anybody you guys looking for a cheaper alternative to a Clash. Here you go. All right, now let's go back to the other stuff we're talking about. I'm gonna give y'all away a couple of my hold to the chest kind of secrets. I put this stuff up when people come over to my boat when they're looking at stuff on tournament days. So you guys on the channel are going to be privy to some of my in-depth kind of things. When we're talking about Netheads, which you guys know I love throwing Nethead, but I'll take basically a power Ned like this right here. The Nichols lures, this is 3/16, and I'll take a baby D-bomb, and I'll throw this on a Nethead. It is a very, very good producer. I have caught some really big bass with this, and especially on this color. It's called Love Bug. Let me show it to you real fast. That's another really good good way to beat the summertime blues. I saw this, I thought it was really cool. I hadn't had a chance to use it yet, but it's that Gizzard Shad Segugan Junior Contender. Okay, that's not really part of this discussion though, but let me get out this little box here. It's got all some of my goodies in it. Okay. Some of the things that I like to do during the dog days of summer. Yep, I gotta show you guys that as well in a minute. But I like to throw a little crankbaits. Hence another reason why I started doing BFS. These little Shimano Worlds, they are amazing. Now, had be it on the pricey side, don't get me wrong. And this is a 1/8 ounce little crankbait. But this little booger right here, let me tell you what. During the dog days of summer, I have lots of colors of this now. I did only start off with a couple colors, but it comes with outstanding hooks, outstanding split shots, outstanding everything. This thing is basically good to go as soon as you open the package up. Let me do it this way because this does not want to come out right. There we go. So you guys can take a closer look at this. What this reminds me of is like old school baits. But they used to be balsa, but now they're plastic. Well, these are plastic, not now they're plastic. Look at the little colors on that little guy. These little things, they run. I've been doing the flat side of this. I've been doing this one. I've been doing the big version of this one. I have never had one. I ain't got no wood to knock on. I should probably knock on my own head, but I've never had one not run true. I mean, this little baits right here, these little Shimano World minnows, or Shimano World, what are they called again? Macbeth. That's what it's called, Macbeth. Like this is a Macbeth Tiny, MB39F. Macbeth Tiny. They have the tiny, and they have the big Macbeth, the bigger Macbeths, and they also have the flat-sided Macbeths. These are not expensive as the World minnows are, but these little jokers right here are the real deal. They have really good hooks, really good split rings, really good everything. I mean, you don't have to replace nothing. All you gotta do is just tie this on your line and go fishing. On all of them. And I have caught. This is one of my true, like, I have several BFS reels that I've ordered just in like the 6.5, like the Kingdoms, the fish bands. I like having those BFS reels. Ow! They have like the 6-something gear ratio to them. Some of the BFS reels that have like the 8 gear ratio just do not work good for this bait. They work it way too fast. But this is a little Squarebill. I mean, you can work it fast if you want to. I have caught some big ones on these little buggers. Next thing. Ima makes these, and so does Carl's. Carl's calls them the Runt. Now, what this is basically, it's kind of like a little Squarebill. You can actually, in my preference, it works almost exactly like a little, I use it kind of like a little Ah, man. My mind's going crazy on me here. I use them kind of like a, gosh, not a buzz bait, but a wake bait. Wake bait. I use these little boogers like a little wake bait. And the IMA one's made really for wake bait, but the IMA is a little bit bigger than this one. Just a teeny bit. But this thing has a really good weight transfer. It has like a little one knocker, so you can hear that knocking. It has good hooks. Good. What happens is this thing, as it wakes across the surface, they come up. They usually hit this right here, hit the feather. But this and the IMA, of course, is made a little better than this and costs more, of course. I think the IMA starts off like you can get a 3/8 or an 8 or a half. And this one I think this one here's a 3/16. Let's double check and confirm. Well, it's a 2-inch. This one's called Moonlight Shad. Well, I mean, I got the scale right here. What am I doing? You know, I don't like to tell you guys anything that's not correct, so I have to always double check myself. Sometimes it's annoying, but I'd rather be right than wrong. That kind of sound bad when I said that, but yep, 3/16 of an ounce. But this is a really great little lure, especially in the dog days of summer when you're trying to match the hatch. Because right now, if you guys just go up to your boat dock, look out in the water, and you're going to see all these little shore minnows, which I like to call them, swimming around. They're all running around the shore, running around the bank, and every once in a while you'll see like the bass come chasing them. You'll see them come out of the water. You'll see them skipping across the surface. And this next thing that I'm going to show you is designed just for that one point. Like when you see those bass chasing those shore minnows and stuff, and you know they're chasing them along the surface. And you see them skipping out of the water. Let me make sure I get them on for you so I can show them to you. This is a bait by Jackal. I have different sizes of it that I throw. Let's just get a few of them. You don't need to see all of them. All right, so this is, let me put these other ones back. Okay, you don't need to see all my colors I like to throw. But this is called the riser bait. This one's the riser 7R. They also make a 6 and an 8. I think they also make a 5. I'm not mistaken. This one's 3/10 of an ounce. This one here, I throw it on really fast bait caster equipment, or I throw it on really fast spinning reel equipment. Because I'm throwing it out there, I'm basically like, I start reeling it really fast. I see the bait start coming out, start waking on the surface, and then I start popping my rod tips and I'm going. And it makes it go down and up, and down and up, down and up, down and up. And then I have bigger one, I work basically the same way. Remember I told you I try to work the spectrum? Here's a little one, and here's a big one. And this big one, mainly I work this one out deep, over deep water. When I see, like I'm out, especially on herring lakes, when I see the fish in the back of a pocket blowing up on and I gotta try to reach them. You know what I'm talking about. You see them out there in the middle and they just come up. And so I bomb a cast on them with that little booger right there. That's 3/4 of an ounce. So that thing's heavy. Okay, so next thing. A lot of people say this is a cold water bait. I say, This little spy bait right here. There's been days working this across points. Working it really slow. The fish just loads up. It's saved a lot of tournaments for me. And I've tried a lot of spy baits, but I like the Spro and the Jackal the best. Of all the ones I've tried. I mean, I've tried lots of different ones. And I heard Berkeley is supposed to be coming out with one. I really like a lot of the stuff Berkeley's coming out with, because you have the fusion hooks, You have really good split rings. You have really good, just really good hardware. All right. Next thing. You guys already know about deep cranking. You know all about that kind of mess that people do in the summertime. But right now, there's a transition. You'll hardly ever see me out deep during this time of year. Because the thermocline's changing, the water's turning over. Almost all those fish are coming back shallow. So I just don't like being out deep. Oh, another thing about this riser shad. You'll also see, especially on the big one, it has a propeller on the tail. So you see that? Just adds like a bubble trail when you're working it through the water. Next thing we're going to talk about is the Juke. I have found this in the last recent years. I use, that's basically, it's the same color. I didn't know which ones I got out of there. Remember we talked about I go big or I go small. This is another version of going big. This is a big bait. This bait weighs 1 5/16 of an ounce. It dives like 3 to 6 feet, I think. Let me make sure. 3 to 6 feet. 5 inches. It rattles, of course. But this bait, it is, think about kind of like a big jerk shad on crack. This thing, I fish this around docks. I fish it around points. And I like to fish it around when you find like grass, right there to kind of towards the end of the summer, when you have a grass line that comes out to about 6, 7 foot deep. And you can basically 6, 7 foot deep is right at the tops of that grass line. I like to burn this across the top of that grass line. I mean, they will slam this thing. Fishing at Jordan Lake 2 years ago, and 3 years ago, I caught a 7-pounder in a tournament with this. So this has been out for a while now. It's a really good bait, and I got this one at Ollie's. Anytime I can find something at Ollie's and find it for a good price, I'm gonna get them. I mean, this was $5, and I think we had a 15% off total purchase, and I loaded up that day. My wife says I have way too much stuff, and I said I don't think I have quite enough. I mean, I'm addicted to tackle. I love my tackle. What I love even more is fishing. Okay. Next thing, guys. We already talked about having throwing the small swim baits, but I like to get out there. This is one I've been finding lately. I love this Berkley Powerbait one. This is basically just like the Megabass Dark Sleeper, but it's the Berkley Powerbait version. And I've also started using some. There's so many knockoffs of the Dark Sleeper. This is one I found on Amazon called Ghostalure, and the clamshell's really nice on them. The tails always stay really good. They're not. Some of the ones you buy off AliExpress, especially when you get them in, the tail's all bent. You can't even use the damn thing. But these are, I think it's $10. I think you get 6 of them. Yeah, 6 of them off of Amazon. These are really good, and they have really good colors, and you have different size options. Let's see here. Which also with that Berkley, they have different size options as well. Here's the but these are as small as these little guys are, they're 3/8 of an ounce. I like to use these with like a 7'3" medium heavy with 15-pound fluorocarbon. I mean, these little things will wear the fish out. I don't fish these like you do like a regular swim bait. Let me go and preface that. See, let me show you here. Here's the regular Megabass Dark Sleeper. And here is the Powerbait one. But let me also show you. Here's the Dark Sleeper. This is not kind of fair. This is not showing the right size, but you can kind of see the same detail in this is from here. That's why I said the comparison for these two is very, very good. This is a very, very, very good knockoff. The hook in this is really good. Now, some of the ones on AliExpress, the hook sucks. You will not be disappointed with these. Is that a smaller one? That's 3/4 well. So. All right, so let me try to get to where I'm going. Hold on a second. I know this video is getting too long. All right. Another thing I want to show you guys. All right, guys. This is getting towards the end of the video. So if you guys are stuck around, I'm gonna go ahead and let you have this tip. This is like some of my favorite things to throw. And a lot of people consider this to be a cold water bait. But I do not. But first, really fast, going back to that same green grass line, I have really started liking this lure a lot. I can't say this is one of my go-tos yet, but this Hybrid Hunter, I really like this. Especially the smaller version, the Junior. I've had a lot of success with it. I can't say I've won a tournament with it, but let me show you what I'm on. This is the tip that I don't like sharing with a lot of people, just because this is my big money. When I'm fishing rivers, I'm fishing a place that I haven't been to before, and I've got to find fish. Especially I'm trying to find fish and I'm trying to discover water. This is what I go to. And like I said, a lot of people think this is a cold water bait, but I do not think it is. I have really started liking, I like OG Slim and I like OG Tiny. These are both the Tinies. That one right there is called Big Shad, and the one's called Green Gizzard Shad. That's two of my favorite colors. And I also like this color here. This one's called Bluegill. I think it's called Bluegill. Yeah, copper green shad, okay. Copper green shad. The other one, like this one, this has a little more pronounced chartreuse. It's called Bluegill. These and this guy right here. This is a Spro Little John 50. These are, when it comes to me going out power fishing and covering a lot of water, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to these and to, where did I put it? And these. When I'm covering water, I mean, I like to throw that whopper flopper, don't get me wrong. But if the water's got a little bit of color, or if I know I'm just trying to get some bites, I'm gonna be throwing that small whopper plopper or one of these. And I'm gonna cover water until I find them. And as soon as I find them, I'm gonna slow down. And especially if I find them around, if I'm around docks or whatever, I'm gonna slow down. And this is like this is another thing I'm gonna show you guys, that this is a tip just for you guys. This is my favorite dock jig. This is called the Picasso Dock Rocket. This jig has a great hook. It skips like a rock. It has a great keeper. I like to throw a last tack on these because I don't like them getting torn up so much when I'm skipping. It's irritating as hell when you go skip and your crawl gets torn all to hell. You have to take it, pull it, you have to basically reel it right back in. You basically wasted a cast. You're wasting 5 minutes. Or not 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying. You're wasting a few minutes getting your bait back on there. But this is another one of those things that I hold near and dear to me that I don't tell a lot of people about. So those little pieces of information, since you guys stuck around to the end of the video, this is the longest video I think I've ever made, but this is like the biggest session I've ever done. These right here, if you're a tournament fisherman, will put money in your pocket. I guarantee. I guarantee. Whoop, Bo, you go away. Sorry about that, guys. He is very wanting to play right now. He's getting rowdy. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up. Mike Myers, send me that email. I'll go ahead and get that box out to you as soon as I get your email. I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight. You guys have tight lines. I appreciate all the subscribers. I appreciate you guys sharing the videos, commenting on the videos, sharing the love. I appreciate it, guys. You're the reason why I do it. Y'all have a great day.